Hi, good day and welcome back, I should say. We actually just had a little bit of an issue. We had a sound problem there, so we just got that fixed. Okay, so very happy to know that our sound is fixed. By the way, this is Tell It As It Is or Shut Up Guyana once again. I am your host, sorry, Anthony Snow, right? Human Resource Director for Job Fair Worldwide. And today we have a really awesome show for you. We have a couple guests in the building here. Okay, please introduce yourself, guys.
My name is Velicious Edwards. I'm a para athlete and I'm basically a proud member of Job Fair Worldwide and here to discuss some of the rights and share information upon disabilities.
Okay, so and you, sir?
I am Andrew Naniram. I am the co-founder of the NGO Youths on the Rise Guyana.
Youth on the Rise.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And what does your organization really deal with?
We focus on humanitarian work in general, feeding of the homeless, clothing, um, helping out the less fortunate.
So basically, getting assistance out to those who need it.
Yes.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, that's basically kind of something that we do at Job Fair as well. We just deal with things from more of a employment aspect,
Okay.
right? And we deal with resource development, right? So, and you know Mr. Edwards here. He's actually with us. He's one of our board members, and I know today you guys are going to be dealing with a special talk on disabilities, special needs services for Guyana 2020. Also, you would notice that we termed it "Forgotten Voters," right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, now, I was happy to term it that way because I know right now with elections coming up, there is so much going on, and the politicians they don't really focus on people who have disabilities. Their main agenda is the people who could walk to the polls,
Yes.
who could get there, who they feel could put them in power. But I know that there are thousands of people in Guyana suffering from disabilities, whether it's a physical condition or a mental ailment, they're suffering, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be talking about that in a few moments.
Okay.
Also, just to let you guys know, we also have a special talk today on no more U.S. visas needed for Guyanese. So for those of you out there who are interested in finding out what it is that we mean by this, right? Stay tuned for the talk because we're going to be talking about that. I just don't think it's right for Guyanese to still need visas anymore, and I think that any politician should have this on their platform. If they don't have this on their platform, I don't think that they're doing Guyana justice, right? Right. We'll also be talking about some of the corruption issues at lands and surveys, and will delays at lands and surveys open up doors for corrupt practices, right? And this is based on a special investigation that we've had going on for about a year and a couple months now,
Okay.
right? Yeah, so we've been investigating them. We've been investigating the commissioner himself, his practices, right? His subordinate practices, and how they stagnate processes on purposely, right? We've been building quite a case, in fact, and we have all of the evidence, right? From from recorded video visits to to recording the conversations when these people try to basically push you on a run around. You know, they make you go to the office, then they got you waiting. Then they tell you, man, you gotta call back or you gotta come back. And when you come back, they put you on another one too.
And
They
you
tell
gotta
you they
come
gotta
back
come
again.
back, and they simple things,
Yes.
very simple things that they do to frustrate the issue. So it's either that they're incompetent and they don't know what they're doing in terms of their jobs, right? They were placed there by friends and family.
That is true. That is how a lot of jobs are given out. If you don't know anyone
Or
now,
someone.
you cannot get a job in this country.
Yeah, don't you think that's crazy?
That is correct.
I will need you guys to just speak up just a little louder, though, right? Because we want to make sure that the public can hear us real clear. I mean, me, I talk loud,
Yes.
right? So when you throw your voice here so that we can catch it, right? If by any chance any of the viewers out there uh, have a problem hearing anything, let us know, right? We just want to make sure that the sound is coming out loud and clear for you, okay? Make sure that we've got everybody in the shot. Yeah, here we go. All right, so first thing, we're gonna discuss today. Okay, I might leave the juicy. I'm gonna leave the juicy one for a little later, right? The first thing that we're gonna discuss. Let's discuss these corruption issues.
Ah,
Let's discuss this, right? Because it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and it's all over Guyana, right? Um, Guyana is extraordinarily corrupt. We can't run from that, right? There are so many issues of corruption in Guyana. It is ridiculous, right? We'll just bring up in person. I always like dealing with facts, eh? So facts is the way to go, and yeah. Let's see. Boom. And just pull it up here. I'm gonna put it side of my face for a minute, because you know. Let's let's keep it up here. Boom. So everybody could see it. Nice and easy. Good. Now, in the newspaper this week, very sensational thing, and I don't think the population is focusing enough attention on it to know how serious this is, right? Where it says 4 fired from lands and survey for corruption. Now, why is there corruption going on in lands and survey, or any government agency for that answer? I mean, have you guys ever been affected by it? Have you guys ever been put on long waiting lists?
yeah, many times.
Give us an example of one government agency you go to and you're just put on a long runaround.
My first experience of this same prolonged stuff was actually years ago, where I needed a surgery at GPHC. I was put on a list to get a surgery for my injury, and that took approximately almost 3 years accounting. So that has like frustrated me, and I just decided to put call quits on it.
3 years. 3 years waiting for a surgery. So that's pretty damn important. That's a surgery, right? That is life threatening, right? Um, so you just gave up on it.
Tired waiting, man. I did. They're gonna say that they don't have the materials, or the doctor isn't there, or probably um, some other excuse that would call for another date or another time to do it.
For
But
3 years.
3 years. But how
For
many
three
other
years.
people you know that are suffering from similar instances, waiting on services for medical?
I knew of an incident where I was at GPS orthopedic clinic, and I did request it for a surgery. The doctors did give me the do's and don'ts, the positive, negative, and so forth. Now, I proceeded to go down to surgery because I needed results. Happens to know I'm a spinal cord injury, but for those of you who's now tuning in, I'm a spinal cord injury, living in being in a wheelchair for almost over 7 years, and this injury needed a surgery at early stages, according to what I'm now getting. So what happened was I requested for a surgery back in 2014, and been waiting ever since until I just got so frustrated and caught with
Okay.
prolonged life,
Do,
prolonged life.
do you think that if you had one or two contacts in there, things would have moved faster?
Definitely.
Yeah,
If you don't have contact somewhere, you cannot get anything done whatsoever.
There seems to be a Guyanese way. Well, you see, what we have here is that, with lands and survey, for instance, right, and it happens in housing as well. I know a lot of people would have had to either know somebody in housing. There were issues where people spoke about if you didn't know the minister in housing in the past,
Yeah.
you couldn't get the house locked. Um, you know, if you go GRA, if you go any seems to be anywhere that got something that starts with Guyana in front of it, got some sort of corruption in front of it, right? That's why I didn't start my show with Guyana, tell it as it is or shut up. I started it as tell it as it is or shut up, Guyana, right? Because I don't want people to feel that when we have to tell you the truth, or when we have to bring something out there, it's going to be delayed, right? Now, in this lands and survey issue here, with these individuals, right? They said persons were billing things out, basically selling things, plans. Uh, you know, the news here states, let's see, let's see exactly what the news states. 3 officers were fired for unlawfully obtaining cash from clients, right? While the 4th person was fired after it was discovered that the individual inflated bills, right? Now, honestly speaking, do we think that is the only amount of corruption going on in land and survey? Think about it. With all the allegations of land grabbing around the country, right? In order for a lot of these things to happen, any land grab on an industrial scale or even a basic scale for some instances does have to go through Lands and Survey, because Lands and Survey does all the surveying,
Yes.
right? So you can't know where you land there for grab it unless you go through them
Them.
and they give you a stamp and seal plan to say, look,
This is
legally this is what we identify as your property, right? But yet you hear so much talks of land grabbing. You hear it being mentioned by the opposition leader. You're seeing things in the paper where one man gets how much hundreds of acres here. I see Mrs. Kears, I think it's Kears, who sued somebody else the other day for saying that she obtained land, somewhere else in Guyana. And she won a lawsuit because apparently she didn't really obtain that land, or there was something behind it, right? And I think it's important that, if somebody lies on you, that you sue their asses and your case moves fast, right? Unfortunately, if you don't have money to pay the judges and to pay the liars and to pay the court system for pull up your jacket fast or to pull your case to front,
you can't move and go
no,
nowhere.
you can't move and go nowhere. Your case can sit right there and pass around the office and make sure that everybody working in the court system each get $1 before
Yeah.
you think gotta go where you gotta go, right? And that's bad.
It is.
Why do I say that's bad? Because basically when you look at it, corruption basically starts from the judicial system. Because if everybody know that the judicial system would be very stern, then nobody ain't taking chance. But people know, and they've seen politicians maneuver their ways out of so many different things already. People know that, hey, even if I get charged, this thing could go 100 years before I'm ever prosecuted.
Yes, and
By then I dead and gone. I done gone with the loot, I done gone with whatever, I dead and gone. Right?
So that's why I had to get
Right?
their own.
Look, I see this thing here. 3 officers fired, right? And by the way, it's funny because, yeah, it's telling me 3 officers fired from obtaining cash from clients, unlawfully obtaining cash from clients. But I don't see nothing in the article saying that these persons were criminally charged. If you're obtaining cash from people unlawfully, when you say the word unlawfully, it means illegal.
In every context.
Why did those persons not get charged for fraud? You as Lands and Survey know that they have obtained these monies illegally. You would have fired them for this, which means you have evidence of this and you have not legally had them prosecuted.
That comes back to the corruption.
That comes right back to the
And
corruption.
the linkage that you have.
Right? Then they're gonna say, oh well, they can't do nothing about it, because what was it? Because it's the people who get robbed and the people who are going through the backtrack. Fine, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but you are the government agency. You should be charging both parties.
That is.
Both parties break the law. Charge both parties. Charge the man who go through the back door for get the thing done,
And charge the one who helped you do it.
and charge the one who was doing it for him. Now the one who needed to get it done, well, he thinks straight. Turn him into the witness against the one who been really doing it. Well, I understand the process slow. The same man who charging you money is probably the same man who slow it down. You understand what I mean? This way now, you slow it down, So you create an opportunity now that you need to get paid to get this thing done for this person.
Or it cannot happen.
Or it can't happen. I know you gotta get into this office, but I'm the one that locking the door, and I can tell you, "Bye, give me your money, and I gotta make sure that the other man open up the door for you." All you know is not me. It's just because you couldn't see I's the one holding the door. If I could have opened it, then that means I had control over that door. How could I open it if it was somebody else controlling it?
Agreed.
And then start holding and locking up everybody in lands and survey who doing illegal stuff. And trust me, when you start giving them some serious, you gotta give them some serious punishment, like a 10-year in prison
That's too little bit.
or a 20-year in
Yeah.
prison. Let them know that that type of behavior that they're doing. How many coolie people ain't kill each other for land in this country already? Let me be for real. Now, coolie people like kill each other for land, right? It's a funny thing. So when you got land problems, it's murder. If a man taking money and saying this land is you own when it's not you own, and then you go for claim it, and the man who really owned it dead, it's murder you're sending people for commit. And before it come to court, nobody ain't gonna want to come to court, because once it come to court, they don't know it's a 20-year dancing. You come to court, land court, oh,
Yes.
Scott. Right now, I think land court still got case from 1992 in it. We still got a border dispute from 18 something, right? So land court in Guyana is almost pointless, right? So persons tend to deal with things outside of land court, which you know, for the most part, I can't even blame them, due to the point that, you know, things are crazy. Things are definitely crazy. People want services. People need to get help, and that being the case, somebody got to help them, right? Now, what would you guys suggest? Do you guys know anything about how housing and these things work?
Personally, no, I don't.
Have you ever applied for land?
No. I have.
Have you ever applied for land?
I've seen through the process, but haven't applied for any.
Do you know persons who have applied for land already?
Yes, my father applied and he was successful.
He was successful.
Correct.
But how long did it take him?
Well,
Good while, approximately.
averaging almost 1.5 years.
That's
a short
fast.
time.
In fact, a year and a half is very
I have a friend
fast.
who's waiting 7 years now, and
Right,
she
I-
hasn't gotten through us yet.
You know, I know people who are still waiting as well. Right? You know what? You're lucky. You're lucky. You can't say that.
That's
I know some
very
people who are
fast.
watching this show right now say a year and a half. That's it. That's it. Right? But also locations too, right?
Yeah.
Locations is a different story, because you see there's a lot of areas that people want. Like everybody want to be close to Georgetown. I don't know why.
Everybody wants to come up this side.
I don't know why they think it's better, but Georgetown's is prone to flooding, prone to more disease, prone to more crime. The only thing is that it's a little busier, so it seems like there's more jobs,
Yeah.
right? But it's not really more jobs, because there's a lot of different jobs going on outside of town, but you just have more options, I guess.
Here.
Right? Yeah, closer to town, but the pay is worse, right? You see, that's the thing people don't realize. If you're in an area where a lot of people want to be, the demand goes up, and when it comes to work, pay goes down. When it comes to services, price goes up,
Yep.
right?
Cost of living rises.
Cost of living
tremendously.
rises, exactly, right? Now, let's pull away from this. I think we spoke about that a little bit. I think the public needs to go ahead. But before, actually, you know what? Before I pull that away, let me tell you a little bit about our investigation. Since last year, October of 2018, right? We would have been approaching the commissioner's office at Lands and Survey in relation to a government access road in Land of Canaan at Tract C. This happens to be where we are building our housing scheme. Now, there's been an access road there since we had purchased that land. right? By accord of the Constitution in 1954, there was a law passed stating that no one can purchase land without access. That prevents a circumstance called landlock. So that, you know, if I buy a property behind you, you can't lock me off and tell me I can't get to my property. Before I'm even able to purchase that property, the government would have had to see how you accessing your property, right? Or how I access in my property. Somehow now, there's a road that's been there, and an individual would have went and erected a fence. Now we had Lands and Survey, we consulted them, and they had an investigation done in October of last year. It is now October of 2000. It's actually now it is December of 2019, and Lands and Survey has not been able to issue the findings of that investigation, not realizing that they themselves are also under investigation, right? Because I would have videoed when they went and surveyed the area and checked it out. I would have videoed when the inspector that went there determined that that was also a government access way. I would have documented, videoed, and recorded conversations between higher level individuals stating that that is a government access way. And we have also acquired documentation showing that high-ranking members of AFC who are currently connected to the Guyana Forestry Commission have shares in a zoo, or as a shareholder, I should say, in a zoo located adjacent to the road. And it is the same people that own the zoo who erected the fence on the government access way. Now the purpose of erecting this fence was to create a buffering zone, because the zoo cannot be legally permitted to be there without a buffering zone. So what they did now, by erecting the fence, they're creating their own buffering zone, but at the same time, they're doing it on government property. I didn't know we as citizens could tell government, I want the public road. I want to throw up a fence in the middle of the East Bank public road, because I there living on the roadside. You did it? And maybe I want just an extra piece of land. Maybe I just
park a car or something.
you know, the traffic is too much. I tired of traffic.
Yeah.
So I can go and I can erect a fence on the public road and stop traffic. But you see, people can say that's wrong. They can say you can't do that. Why are you obstructing people from getting where they got to go when it is not your road? It is a government road. But that is our same argument here. How can an individual or a private group of individuals who I have all their names and all the documentations, these persons also tried to accuse me before of false accusations, right? Called their friends at the police department.
Yes, I saw when you
Right? Try for get me pulled into the police department. Real scare tactics. Telling the police how I threatened them and this. And I ain't threatened nobody. I said straight, when y'all get catch doing y'all illegal activity, y'all gonna go to jail. Right? The same police who come in for investigate, we need to investigate y'all. But since they're not doing so, we have done the investigations, we have all the documentations. So whenever a righted legal branch that has not been corrupted enters, we will hand them all of the evidence and let them put a commission of inquiry into this if necessary. Right? Also, at the same fact, since we're waiting 1 year for Lands and Survey to produce their findings, somebody needs to go and check out Lands and Survey, ask them why it's taking them 1 year or more to produce a simple letter. During that time, however, the commissioner himself, he went on a boat cruise. They buy a set of new vehicle that they got parked up inside. They compound. Everything is PXX, right? And all of them were purchased from Car Care. So hey, Car Care, big up. I don't know how you got those contracts, but you know, if you're selling 100 or 200 vehicles, I don't know how many you sell. I'm just guesstimating right now, right? To the government of Guyana, quite a big contract, and I don't know how come no other dealers got contracts like that.
That is true. No outbidders.
Where was the bidding process for all of this? I don't know. I don't know. Or did all of them just suddenly, you know, do something? What I would say, though, is that a person should check out Car Care and see if by chance the owners of Car Care, persons associated with Car Care, suddenly came into any land. So cool. What you doing, by? Right? Because when I see things like that, it leads me to believe that more is happening.
Yes.
Right? I'm not saying that it is, but it leads me to believe that more may be happening. Right? So in case y'all try to say, hey, he's saying it happening and lock you up. No, I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying these incidents that we are looking at can lead, it would lead me to believe that something funny is going on. And that is because, you know, I've been in Guyana for about 17, 18 years now. Right? And I've traveled a lot. And I've had the luxury of dealing with some of the criminals in the country. I've had the unfortunate circumstance of dealing with some of the politicians. The sad realities of dealing with some of their religious leaders. Right? Right? And, you know, and the disappointment of dealing with some of the average citizens. And there's a reason why I say things like that, because you would assume that all of these people have sense. But the reality is, you should not assume that people have common sense. Not in Guyana.
It's very rare to find people with common sense in Guyana.
We all think we got it. But I don't fully believe that, because look at what's happening all around us.
I think they got common sense, but they just don't use it.
They're using it? No, they're using it for thief. That's what people using it for. They're using it for thief. Right? Everywhere we go in this country, somebody trying for thief or something. Right? So, I call him once again on the Commissioner of Lands and Survey, Mr. Ben, to answer these investigations. Stop passing around the story to everybody in your office to dilly-dally and figure out an excuse, and furnish the letter with the findings of the investigation. Just so simple. Monday they told us that they would have had the letter ready. When we went there, they said, you know, we're going to have the letter ready, but we're not sure it's going to have what you want written on it. I said, it doesn't have to be what I want written on it. You just put what you write in on it. They said, well, it's going to say that the road is a private road. I said, no problem, just put it there. And make sure you put whoever name saying that that is a private road there. Because, for those of you that don't know, if you look right behind, see all them plans? I got every single plan, and we got copies of it with our attorneys and everything else. Showcase it. What is and what is not a private road. Right? I have witness testimonies from the area. We got a serious case here. And I just waited to see the persons in Lands and Survey that is foolish enough to put their name on that letter and say that that is a private road, so that we can lock them up and have them fired. Real simple, right?
Yes.
Now, I am calling on the good and decent persons that work within all of these agencies to do a good and decent job. Fair enough?
Agreed.
Do honesty.
Moving forward.
Honesty. Just do your job. Put aside friends and family and do what you signed up to do when you joined the government agency, which was to have integrity, to do your job professionally without friend or favoritism, and story done. And then one day you would rise up the chain and you would be the boss. And we could support that. Right? Good. Now, before we go into the juicy part of our show, which is the no more U.S. visas needed for Guyanese piece, which will explain to you why Guyanese should not need visas anymore to go to the U.S. Right? We're going to go ahead and go into our special talk on disabilities and special need services for Guyana for 2020. Right? Mind I say, for all of you politicians out there who are watching this, pay keen attention, right? Especially all of you new groups. Because if you look at the amount of people in Guyana that got special needs or require special assistance, you're talking about over 10,000 people.
Yes.
Probably more.
Exactly. I'm just giving a low number right now. Right? And if 5,000 votes is a seat, then I think persons should be paying real attention to the needs of these people, because in a case of 34, 32 equaling 65, ha 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 ha, a seat can make a big difference, right? All right, so Mr. Edwards, take us into this talk here, my brother.
Alright. Now this party topic, it's more of an overwhelming one, and not much has been discussed for so far.
Okay, hold on. First thing, are you nervous?
And go commercial.
And are you nervous? We can go in commercial. This is normal. In fact, this is how we address things.
Alright.
And it's okay to be nervous, you know. I know you're not normally used to being on TV. When you're off TV, you talk like a skank still, right? Right? So,
No, I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous.
but that's okay. Even if you are, I get nervous. I'm nervous right now. Can you tell? Right? But it's fine. Right? And this is important, because this is how we're supposed to work together in Guyana. If we see our brother not too strong in one area, we got to back you up. Real thing. Real
But
thing.
you rarely find people like that.
But, you know, and we need to, right? So, you know, the good part about this show is that it's not just a show in itself. It's a reality thing. You know, we're comfortable. We're comfortable just being ourselves. Talking about the issues that we need to talk about. Getting the truth out there. Making sure people know, you know, we're not here, we're not pretending to be something.
Mm.
Right? And in your own words, tell me, right? Being someone who has suffered, is it safe to say that you're paralyzed? Or is that wrong? Is that wrong? That's wrong. Okay, so that's wrong. So you're not. Okay, so thank you, because I had a misinterpretation. I was thinking maybe you were paralyzed, right? So, and some people might think that, but that's not the case, right? Because, you know, every time I see you, I mean, you're in a wheelchair right now, so, you know, so there's a common stigmatism.
Exactly.
So we need to address the stigmatism, and we need to address things that affect persons who are not just in your position but in other positions as well, right? So, tell me, what are one of the major things, and let's just speak from your point of view right now, someone in a wheelchair that lacks a certain amount of mobility, right, that the average human being right now at this moment has, right? Tell us something that can be implemented or changed in this country immediately that can seriously make life easier for someone in your circumstance.
There's a lot of things that that could be changed. For instance, the accessibility of public buildings.
What's up, Abdul?
There's a lot of persons that I've known, I met, that's in a wheelchair and probably, other form of formalities. Whereas now, we want to go into like the movies or one of those places where we could actually shop. Person in a wheelchair. Some public buildings have ramps, some don't. Now the ones that we would like to go to or like to enjoy our leisure time don't have ramps.
Give us
They
an
do
example.
That's right.
Give us an example. I know, I can tell you, Giftland has accommodation for it. because Gifla has elevators, and I've seen ramps and stuff in their places. I've seen things to accommodate people in Giftland, but that's just one of many places, right?
Mm.
I personally have not seen anything like that. Well, City Mall has it. All the malls I think have accommodation like that. But like, tell us one place that you want to go that's not really accessible to you.
There's a lot of places, man. For example, the restaurants. Some restaurants they don't have ramps. I don't want to be so climax to call a particular
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Well, don't call a name, right? Because they still restaurant. We might want to eat there. The next thing you know, they're poisoning you or something, right? Uh, go ahead, talk.
Yes, it's most
Hey, you
the
gotta
challenge
call
we
us back
face
on
is
Facebook,
the steps.
watch the show
Once
so far.
once we see the steps, that's definitely red flag for us. Once you have a ramp, then definitely access will be provided for us. Also, some persons like the the service within these restaurants. Some of them are very poor.
So the service in itself.
They're very poor. Example, the customer care service.
Okay, so for the most part, you're saying that the the customer service representatives are not really trained to deal with persons
With
uh, 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 with disabilities. Okay, I can understand that, but that's not just something here. You know, that's also something around the world. It happens. It's not a big focus
Mm.
for most business places, right? Um, I think it needs to be right. Oh, hold on for a minute. Yeah, sorry about that. Got a lot of calls actually coming in at this particular moment. Mr. Karaya, hold on for one moment, please. I will be contacting you in just 1 second, right? Let me just pull you up on the messenger area here. Okay? Thank you. Yeah, you see, we do have a lot of calls coming in at this moment, so we want to be able to get things going. Okay, good. We got them queued in there, so that'll work out. Yeah, so we know that there's problems with access for persons in wheelchairs in terms of getting them in and out of buildings. Okay, uh, I think there's a bigger issue that needs to be addressed as well. I mean, access in and out of buildings is one thing, but I notice every time I see you moving around, you're always in a taxi, and that cannot be affordable, right? And I know we have public transportation, but I've never seen a bus in Guyana outfitted to accommodate somebody in a wheelchair. And to me, I think that's a bigger issue,
Transportation.
transportation. Because, you know, going into a restaurant, that's leisure, right? That's optional. That's a choice you make. But when you need to go to the hospital, when you need to go to a government building, maybe to pay a tax, to do something. I know you got wheels right now, but I don't see no engine on that. And the fact that Guyana does not have public transportation that caters to a population who has disabilities, I think that is grossly unfair. Right? Uh, these small minibuses, though they're fast and effective in the type of climate or type of traffic area that we have right now in Guyana, um, I don't think that it's suitable for a growing country. Right? This is just my opinion, huh? Maybe others would share it. Right? Uh, for instance, is it safe for a blind person to hop into one of these minibuses? that is congested. There's no cameras, no nothing in there. A blind person going in and get robbed. How would they know? There's no safety. No safety. What about a beautiful young woman who happens to be dumb? And when I mean dumb, I mean that she can't speak. That she can't speak properly. Right? She might go into one of these farms of public transit. Somebody might feel she up, sexually molest her, and because she can't speak for herself, you understand? How would she get any representation? Right? There are a lot of issues when we talk about, you know, persons with special needs. Okay? And you know, for Guyana, you know what? There we go. All right, Mr. Correa, can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Mr. Correa?
Yeah, speaking.
Okay. Stay on the line there, right? You gotta stay on the line and listen, and we're gonna pull you in just a second, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, for me personally, when it comes to services that persons with disabilities need, I think one of the number one services that the government or any political group should focus on, first and foremost, is transportation services for persons with disabilities. I mean, now you are somebody with a disability, right? And like I said, you know, I personally have noticed that every time you have to move, you have to take a taxi. You have no choice,
None whatsoever.
right? And for instance, if you're coming from where you're located, even to my office, it's a minimum of almost like $2,000 roughly. Sometimes more. Sometimes a little less if you know the guy, right? So just to come here, state your point, do your business, and go back, you can spend $4,000 roughly, right? At the same time, there's not many places in Guyana that can accommodate jobs for persons with disabilities. The only place I've ever seen someone in a wheelchair working in Guyana, and I can give them credit for this, has been GT&T. That is the only place I've ever seen in Guyana that someone who is wheelchair bound have a job. Honestly speaking. Right? I have not seen that anywhere else. Right? That's one of the reasons why Jfww allows the online work.
That's also another hot point or a point where lacks in many places. Most of us we have the required knowledge, dedication, the requirements to start a job. However, it's the accessibility of providing jobs for us. That's a point.
Good, and I think that the government should make it their duty to try to accommodate persons with disabilities here in this country without treating it as a taboo issue, because they treat it as taboo. You know, you know what's going on, but you only talk about it when it's mentioned.
It's come seasonal towards an image, I should say.
Right? Well, I put it to every politician in this country. If you can't focus on the persons in Guyana who are suffering from disabilities, then you yourself is suffering from a disability. You are not able to be compassionate to the needs of other human beings, and hence you should not be a politician. Bottom line. Right? Because what is politics? Politics is the practice of making policies to govern a nation. Right? And there are thousands and thousands of people in Guyana suffering from disabilities, and we need policies in place to assist them and make their lives easier, right? Now, you know, I'm going to ask everyone out there to share this video, to share today's show, right? In order to encourage every person in Guyana with a disability to vote. Vote for the groups that will represent your issue. And I ain't calling no group name. Because I'm not here to advocate for any particular group. I am not here to advocate for any particular group, right? I am actually here. You're welcome, my son. Daddy called you back just now, right? You see, that's my son, right? Make time for your children, people. Okay. You're welcome, my son. I love you. Good. I'll call you later. Daddy call you back. Bye-bye. Good. You be a good boy. You see, you call me. You get some of your Christmas stuff now, right? Yeah. I also don't wait till Christmas to give my son stuff, right? Give your family stuff all the time. Christmas is just a money-making day. I tell it everybody straight, right? Good. Right? Christmas is just a money-making day. Stupid people buy things on Christmas alone. You should be sharing love to your family and friends all year long, right? Government, you should be showing people love all the time. You should not wait till Christmas and then say, oh, now you need a bonus. No, people need bonuses all the time. People need better pay all the time. We don't just need them on Christmas, right? But yes, I'm not here advocating for any one particular political group, right? I know that there are over 10,000 persons in Guyana who suffer with disabilities, some major, some minor, some physical, some mental, right? Right? There are persons that are suffering from disabilities, and I think that any political group that got some sense, that knows that this country is getting a substantial amount of money from natural resources, should put aside a certain amount, maybe at least a 3% of that revenue to cater for the persons in the country
Yes.
who have been suffering from disabilities. And the reason why I say 3%, and 3% from all this money that's coming in is a lot of money, right? But the reason why I say 3% of that is because you need to bring things up to date first. After you get things up to speed, right, such as proper means of transportation for these people, right, making sure that schools and government buildings have all the necessary access and facilities, okay? After you get those things up to speed, then you could probably reduce it. You understand, to a point, but
I would say let them remain at that 3%. Most disabled persons don't have jobs.
well,
In terms of transportation, schools as well. I've seen you can go in any school. It does not have access for wheelchair children.
yeah, I know. I've noticed that the
Those
schools
Mr.
got
Snow.
steps,
Here.
right? But do they have ground floor classes? That's the
Mr.
question.
Snow.
They do,
Right.
but the location of the class.
The location of the classes is held.
Yes.
All right. Yes, Mr. Karaya, did you want to touch on this particular issue?
Yes. First, who is your guest in there?
Okay. Please introduce yourselves once again. We have Mr. Edwards, and what was your last name?
Andre.
And Andre. Just Andre for short. No last name.
Well, everybody knows George Correa, whether the name or the
And
voice.
Youths
but
on the Rise?
Youth Sunrise.
Yeah, he's actually the person that founded NGO called Youths on the Rise. Right?
Well, I wish them all the best. But you were talking about disability, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
For 54 years, the government and opposition in power disabled the country. So you
Okay.
might got to give every family a wheelchair or two. Because until now, they're still crippling the country. So everybody is disabled. But if you're talking about physical disability that people born with, if the government don't take care of the people, find the necessary jobs and education and other training for the people who are not disabled physically, mentally, how the hell can they do it for those who are already dismantled? Think carefully. If you cannot protect the mango from spoiling, you're going to try to look after the one what already spoiled?
Whoever's easier.
You need people who have ambition, vision, love, compassion enough for a nation, not to full pocket, and every time for an election, they come talking race and talking Kaisi, Bani, and Polori, and chatty, and then bullshit and corrupt the people.
Watch.
The whole country is disabled. So we got problem. And by the way, under
them heat this up.
the farmer government, the PPP,
Yeah.
you hear
please.
me?
Yes, please.
Mr.
Thank you.
Snow,
Yes.
I think that's what.
under
I
the
didn't hear that last
PPP
part. I'm sorry. I was
government,
actually trying to organize a cup of tea real fast.
listen, under the PPP, I was given 5 ambulances from a hospital. And I called the Guyana consulate and offered them with wheelchairs, lift, and everything. And they told me if I can pay to send it in Guyana. Well, imagine. If Christians
Yeah, I
said
remember
Jesus
that.
is the key to heaven, Jesus might have to turn a key and give every Christian one. He giving you the key, but I want give you the step to heaven, but he must give you a key now too. Nonsense, man. Come on. Guyanese people sit down too long and they want everything free. They get the kind of government that they deserve. Now the young people have to empower themselves and wake up and look at these politicians and say, you are not for us. Then they check them politicians' children pocketbook, check the school, check the car they drive. And then stupid police and them who locking up innocent people and judges because of politicians, their days are coming, they're going to answer.
Okay.
They got to check the
Okay, we're gonna stop right there for a minute, Mr. Karai, because you just go real far, right? I was expecting like a 5-second comment.
Bye, I have traveled
Okay,
the world.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
but
seen a
what you
good
gotta
black
understand
leader or
is
an Indian one
stop.
yet.
Stop. What you gotta understand is, right? The people in Guyana aren't necessarily always ready to hear a blunt truth. I would love to give it to them,
I would agree with you.
right? Would love to give it to them, but oh God, sometimes, you know, it's like this little dog I see in heat. She biting up on the street, biting up on the street. She want the big dog. When the big dog come and start push, aye! And she start back up and run, right? But guy needs to just bark real loud, and when the big thing come, we ain't ready for it. And this is the problem, because reality comes hard, it comes fast, and it comes real. It's there, right? What you were saying there about the wheelchairs and everything, I remember as a child growing up and seeing that you would have collected many things to send to Guyana. You know,
I give it to people. I
and
give it
you
to
end up
people
having
who
to
send
give
it
it
to their
away
country.
overseas. Why? Because you spend the time to get the people to donate and acquire all this stuff for the country. You take it to the council, you tell the council, look, we got a $500,000 worth of medical supplies. All you gotta do is get it to Guyana now. And nope, they don't want to pay for it to come to Guyana. They're telling you who done spend all the time and money, forget it. Man, you still got to pay. And said, no, man. No, you can take you can take you can take a horse to water. You can't force him to drink it, right? Well, the water
Some
there right
went to-
there. If you're thirsty, you're going to drink it. If not,
Some
right.
went to Spanish country and some went to an African nation.
Right?
The people
Okay.
take it and were
Good.
grateful.
Now, we're going to stop you there for a minute, Mr. Karai. Now, you, my friend, Andre, how does Youths on the Rise fit into this here?
Youths on the Rise, basically we go around and well, whoever we know are disabled, in whatever way we can help them, we would help them. We've got the resources.
Okay.
Yes.
And so far, about how many people have you reached out to so far? Reached out to?
I can't give you an exact
Okay.
number,
Okay.
but there is a lot of people that we're helping.
All right. Do you have any long-term, like counseling systems, things in place to help these people through some hard times? Because remember too, right? Part of this thing is not just a physical here. You know, like believe it or not, right? A friendship is an important thing. Having somebody that you could talk to, having somebody that you know that would be compassionate towards your needs,
Yes.
right? That's important. I mean, by the way, I shake your hand on it because a lot of young people right now, they don't give a damn about anybody except themselves. That's the truth.
That is true.
And you can't fully blame them because they're just following suit of what they've seen. You know, they've seen so many people just fighting for self, so much selfishness that they have been brought up in a society that they feel that being selfish is life.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
That's their mentality.
And it's going to take young people like you, young people like Mr. Edwards, middle-aged people like me and old people like Mr. Pariah, right? To to make things to unite these people in a way that we can get maximum efficiency and maximum progress from the time and the energy that we put out there, right?
Snow.
Yeah.
You're talking about the youth don't care about nobody. They don't even care about themselves.
Not all the
When
youth,
you
a
go-
majority, right? I can tell you that.
Listen,
These are
listen.
two young men in front of us.
No, we understand. There's
They
always a
care,
difference. But we're talking in
it's
general
such
here.
a minimal
Listen.
amount of us who are fighting for these things, and the rest of them, they listening to wind up bugabug music, and figuring out how they gonna get the next bag. You understand?
Next hottest thing out
The
there.
next hottest thing. Look, we had Guyana Carnival launching. Was it last night? Last night, Guyana Carnival launching. By the way, the models for Guyana Carnival launching, sexy, beautiful, excellent. Right? At the same time, though, I think that our costumes have left professionally elegant and sexy and have gone into more of an erotic porn-based type look,
Vulgarity.
which very, very vulgar, right? Don't get it twisted. If we in the bedroom, what them women them got done, amazing, right?
Yes.
Amazing, bumsy, nice, sexy. But realistically, as a father, I got daughters, right? I want me daughter them then dust cut.
Straight up.
Straight up, I telling people straight, right? But unfortunately, sex sells, and that is what we have been promoting. We have been promoting a high degree of sexuality throughout the country in everything that we do. And that has caused some serious issues. People wonder why, up to the other day, a 6-year-old child was raped or sexually assaulted in a school on the East Coast by other children. You are pumping sex into these kids' minds. Vulgarity, rudeness, presumptuous ways of sexual exploitation in so many different ways that these children have no choice right now. That's all they know. They go to school now and they act it out. They act it out. This is serious. This is very, very serious. We have become about as civilized as a stray dog walking on the road as a puppy. Pass it to me, please. As a stray dog walking on the road as a puppy. I don't know if anybody ever see a puppy. What a puppy does do. Sometimes when a puppy gets sexually excited, the puppy don't even know the difference or the importance of what it is he's doing. And the puppy will come and jump on your leg and start whine, 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 whine. You ever see a little puppy do that? Y'all ever pay attention to a dog and see? Dogs go and they do that. And they don't know better instinctually though, it's there. Right? And human beings are also animals. So, young boys from basically right after birth or whatnot. My sons from since they were little babies. You know what I mean? Their penis would have stood up because the blood flow. So you got children who are 10, and this is happening with their body, and they can't tell the difference. Their parents never probably sat there and explained it to them what's really going on, right? But at the same time now, the type of environment that they're around is filled with homosexuality that they're thinking that this is the way to do it. And to hear how that incident would have happened, where it was a few of them that banged off this child. Where do you get behavior like that? Where do 10-year-old, 8-year-old children? Where would you observe behavior like that? That is the type of shit that's probably going on in these children's homes. I think social services need to be implemented. I think a lot of things need to be happening, right? Because if not, we are going to be producing sexual predators and deviants in this country.
And we will not be able to stop it.
And we will not be able to stop it because we don't have the manpower and we don't have the professionals in the right place to be able to...
You could stop it, Snow.
You can stop it. Yeah, you can stop it without loss of life. Good.
You could stop it. The first 50 you line up and shoot down, let the rest all change.
So Mr. Karai, are you telling me to line up 8-year-old and 10-year-old children and execute them? Is that what you're telling me?
If it have to be to set the example,
Well,
so
then,
let it
Mr.
be.
Karai, I
Hold on,
can't
hold on.
tolerate that.
I
can't
agree.
tolerate that.
Hold on.
To me now, you sound
give
like
me
a
a good
retarded
hearing. Isn't
individual
baby died?
saying something
Hold
like
on.
that. So you
Hold
blame
on.
the children?
Hold on, for God's sake.
Mr. Karai,
Let's
no,
get the
not for
rational
God's
thing here
sakes,
now.
Mr. Karai. You see, sometimes you gotta pay for your mouth. Right? I understand you want to be dramatic, Mr. Karai. I understand you want to make a point. Right? But to come on my show and talk about sometimes you gotta line up and shoot and this and this and this. Who are you talking about lining up and shooting? Right? Who are you talking about lining up and shooting? 8-year-old and 10-year-old kids? Those kids aren't fully responsible for their actions. And I can't say that they're fully responsible for their actions. I got to say the persons who are around them that have been training them are semi-responsible for those actions. Right? Those kids are in significant need now of therapy. They need people to work with them now. And whether we like it or not, those children actually fall into the realm of special needs. Because now they have a mental problem. That is a problem dealing with their psychology. And that needs to be focused on. Because if that is not correctly addressed, these children will grow up and dissolve into society until something happens. Right?
By then, the results might be catastrophic.
Yes, the results are going to be seriously catastrophic. And if you don't believe me, I believe in either early 2018, no, it was 2017, that they had the case with Archibald. With the boy, I believe up Linden side or Burmese side or something like that. It was one of the outbound side. That the little boy disappeared, and there's two men that raped the little boy and kill him and throw him in the river. How do you think these things start? That type of behavior starts at a very young age. And it builds. And it builds. And it builds. And then these people get pushed out of society and nobody addresses the issue. And then they become deviants. And you know, one day, your small child walking home from school and they vanish. And if the parents ain't focused and don't go looking for their child within a couple of seconds, within a few minutes your child don't get raped, don't get murdered, and then get thrown into a river. Now some people might say what I'm saying is wrong, but I don't give a shit. I'm a father of 6 children. Right? And let me tell you what, when my children are close by, I keep an eye.
At all times.
Yeah, I watch my children at all times. It is only the one.
For
It
20
is,
seconds.
yeah, I'm like, well, where are they?
Yes.
Right? You know, the only time I can't watch them is when they with their mothers. When they with their mother, well, their mother gotta know. Right? And even then, I'd be curious. Right? But the thing is that we need to focus because special needs, like I said, special needs does not just deal with people with disabilities, with physical disabilities. It deals with people with mental disabilities. How many young girls go on buses and because buses are not equipped with cameras and stuff like that, conductor sitting next to them, copping the field fast. Some strange man molesting your daughter. Some nonsense. Or your children just don't know better because you have not trained them better. And because you have not trained them better, your little girl bunks into the music in the bus and some little boy there right on the sheet and she there bouncing up on the thing. So much fun and games. Right? And then we wonder why people are not respecting our country. Certain things ain't happening. Right? Alright. So, is there anything you want to add?
When it comes to disability conversation, there's a lot to be discussed. A whole set of points.
Okay, so I would like to invite you back on another day to come. I would like both of you to come back, right? And our organization, which is Job Fair, in fact, I would like to invite Youths on the Rise to be a massive part of Job Fair as well, so that we can reach out to more youths and we can reach out to more people. Not sure how much funding you have, but we will try to figure out ways to help implement different strategies for funding and fundraising for Youths on the Rise, to get Youths on the Rise to another level, right? I think that is very, very important. See, some people see me as political, but I'm not really political, right? As much as I'm more social. It's just that when you deal with social issues, it becomes political. Because politics helps to govern those social standards of life, or living in a particular country, especially a country like Guyana, right? So I can't do certain things, but if I can help to empower more youths like you to take it for the next generation and the next, it's my pleasure in doing so,
Thank you.
right? And Mr. Edwards, happy to have you guys here. Now we're gonna go into the main topic that we have, so I'm very happy that you guys are here, right? Want to hear your opinions. Definitely.
Before we go to the last point,
Yeah.
the last topic, I would like to say a kudos to Youth on the Rise. I've been supporting them ever since. The walks and so forth. They never neglected me for the fact that I'm in a wheelchair. Because other groups they would because of curiosities of injuries and so forth. But this group, they were the time.
Okay, you can also say Jfww too, because when you come, I help you out, bye. I have to go and exercise sometime, Good. No, but yeah, definitely, in fact, big up to all people out there, not just Youths on the Rise, but big up to all people out there who have the compassion and the care for other human beings here in this country and want to reach out, not just to this country, but for other countries as well, right? Because all of us are human beings. We all suffer. I wish we didn't suffer, but we all suffer in our own way, and it's important for us to be compassionate and understanding to each other based on that. Good. So now we are going to go into the main focus of our show today, okay, which is no more U.S. visas needed for Guyanese, okay? For this particular thing, I will state my piece, then I'm going to be calling back Mr. Correa, because I know I'm going to want to hear what he has to say here, right? But before I call him back and put him on here, because he's a man, when he start talking, he don't want to give nobody a chance, and then I just have to cut you off and stuff, right? Very rude person sometimes. But I understand, it's not that he's rude, he's passionate, right? Right? But a little too much passion ain't too good, right? Now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to be dealing with this particular topic, okay? So guys, we'll see you guys back in a few moments.